Hi, this is Natalie Lander, voice of Kinsey, Tara Branford, Stargirl, and many others. You are listening to a W2Mnet podcast. You can visit W2Mnet.com for other podcasts about entertainment, video games, sports, and wrestling. You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
Hello and welcome to Video Games to the Max, episode 221. And I'm your host, Sean Garmer, and here with me, as always, Mr. Marc Morrison.
Howdy.
And here once again, Mr. Jens Dietrich.
Hello.
Well, of course, we are the official video games podcast at W2Mnet.com. And, well, it's here. Basically, we're doing this as we are minutes away from the midnight launch of Final Fantasy VII Remake here. I may go down while these guys are talking at some point to go check and make sure it actually doesn't need some kind of day one patch or something. Because that would be the worst, to get done with this in like an hour and be excited to play and I can't play anything. So, and both of you guys are waiting for physical copies to arrive, right?
Yep. Well, I've got.
Jens, yeah, he has both.
Well, I've got a Best Buy one waiting. Mark made a big deal about how, like, oh, Best Buy is gonna let you pick it up a day early, and then I got my Best Buy email at like 11:10. Like, come pick up your Final Fantasy. It's ready for pickup. It's like, great, thanks, guys. I'm going to be going down to Best Buy at 11:10 p.m. Thanks.
Well, some people would.
I guess so. Nah. It'll be tomorrow.
I mean, I'm not getting my copy until next Monday, so...
Yeah, but you also don't care as much.
Yeah, I have a real RPG to play at Persona 5.
Hey now. Well, I mean, it is, both are RPGs. We can't just enjoy that both exist within like a week and a half span of each other.
I feel that I care about them equally. It's going to be really hard to decide what I want to put my time into at any given moment.
Yeah, I mean, at least you can spend a lot less time on Final Fantasy VII Remake.
That's true. Maybe I should just knock it out.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, just to if you've been living under a rock for some reason, we mentioned that on Monday when the show came out, the review embargo was up, and there are 100s that I'm seeing here on Metacritic from several outlets, and of course then you have outlets going all the way down to 80 and. EGM gave it a 3 out of 5, so kind of all across the board, but pretty much in the 80 to 100 range. So, what do are you guys...
I'll fully admit I had not looked at reviews at all.
Oh, you haven't at all?
No.
Oh, okay.
I
I looked at them, but they fit, what I thought the game would do, so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of figured the complaints are the complaints that I figured were going to be the case. There was no way there was going to be a perfect way to make this a 30-hour plus game,
I mean, I've seen game journalists on Twitter talk about how it's like one of their favorite games of all time already, and
yeah, oh no, I've definitely seen that as well.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm not making a buying decision based on these reviews, so who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I'll be surprised by whatever it's like.
Yeah, it's just gonna be fun to play this, and we'll see how long it takes for the next one to come out. If it's
2023,
longer than, I hope not. At least 2022. Maybe 2 years in between or something. Well, if things are going the way they're going in Japan, who knows? Should mention that really quick, I guess, while we're on that subject. So the Japanese ratings board has shut down amidst the now state of emergency that's been announced in Japan due to COVID-19. I figured they would have already had one of these since, Japan had to announce the postponement of the Olympics like a few weeks ago, but that shows you a lot of things there. I wonder, it's funny because you also have the comparison of, several sites went and asked, the ESRB and the PEGI Games Board if they're going to have to shut down, and they're like, nope, we're just working from home, no big deal.
Yeah, it's funny that they're not set up for that. That's like, well, reviewers come visit our office for reviews, so what are we going to do? It's like, really? But
you
yeah,
can't watch
Japan.
video of the game and then decide, like, okay.
Do they watch video, or is this more of an interact? Maybe they're more in depth.
There's like a demo reel, like the Valorant stuff, and then they actually play the game as well.
Yeah, and the ESRB really does not. They just look at some video footage of the game. They don't interact with it to see what that feels like. Which maybe you should.
People play.
Do they?
Like
that's not what I've read.
They do. I think it depends on the game. Like if there's questionable material that really needs to get like nitty gritty, I think they do have people play the game. But if it's something where it's going to be E for everyone, I mean, do you really need to?
Well, no, but I just I remember reading that they just look at video of it. Like I didn't think that there was an ESRB guy who was sitting down and like playing the torture sequence with Trevor in GTA 5 to like see how visceral it feels. Maybe they did. I don't know.
Well, they talked about they would play certain sequences like when Hot Coffee was around, like 10 years ago, or however long that was.
Fair enough. That's just a little cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure they don't play every game, but the big ones. I'm sure they certainly do.
Okay. Well.
So I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Resident Evil 3, and Trials of Mana all escaped the shutdown, but we'll have to see if Japanese games start getting delayed, because if they have to shut down that ratings board.
Do we know of any titles that are going to be affected by this, or is it too early to tell?
It depends on how far out Japan does their ratings, right?
Is Sakura Wars already out in Japan?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh yeah, it was last year. Okay,
Yeah.
Never mind. So that's safe.
Like, I wonder if Yakuza would.
Yakuza got out last year. I mean, so
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So it's already
No,
out.
they're both
Same
fine.
thing with like Persona 5 Scramble. Like,
Isn't it funny
more
that
games.
Atlas is still like vote this poll to tell us if you want Yakuza. I mean, Persona 5 Scramble in the West. I'm like, what? Why are you even asking? Everybody wants it.
Why are we at? Oh, so they still haven't given us the release date for that in the U.S.?
No.
I thought
they're
that
like-
already- wow.
Part of the Persona 5 Royal poll is like, do you care about Persona 5 Scramble? It's like, yes. Who's going to answer no to this?
Good God. Atlas.
I mean, they're also a
sometimes-
weird company with their port stuff. People want them to be on the Switch or PC, and Atlas is like, nah, no.
You want this on the
We're
Switch?
okay.
Beg for it. Beg for it.
Yeah, beg for it until we have to reveal that there's some kind of exclusive agreement that Sony swore to secrecy on. Or something. I don't know. But yeah, so that's something that we'll have to keep an eye on and see if we ever have to feel the impact of missing out on some Japanese games because the ratings board is not going in Japan. Another thing that was big this week is, of course, going off of what we talked about last show, Sony's already giving automatic refunds for anybody that ordered Last of Us Part 2 or Iron Man VR digitally. Nice move by Sony, knowing people need that money for other things right now. So
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, technically the game is not coming out, so they could have held on to it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I'll still want it. I don't really care when it comes out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are that way, but $60 is $60 right now. It could buy you some food.
True. That's true.
Or if you
It's
ever
more
find toilet paper.
Oh, that's around here, no problem.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mark.
Oh, yeah.
Mark is blessed
Yeah.
with the white gold.
The white gold is not helping here.
My Publix is
Hard
like,
to check
any paper product, it's like one per person anytime you go. It's like you can have one little pack of facial tissues. You can have one thing of toilet paper.
Well,
the hardest stuff is paper towel around here, but even that you can still find if you really are looking for it.
Yeah, I'm thankfully set for paper towels.
God, I happened to walk into a Walgreens because I needed for something, and there was people lining up getting paper towels that were like things of paper towels that were like 2 for $10, and I had to run back there. First of all, the manager told me, "Oh, that stuff's gone," and I was like, "Why won't you tell me where it is so I could see if it's actually gone or not?" I get up to the counter, the lady's like, "Oh, it's an aisle 10." I go there and there's like 2 packs left. I was like, "Sweet, I'm just gonna buy both of these." Finally got toilet paper and not have to use Kleenex, but still doesn't feel as good as like Charmin or something. But whatever.
Yeah. Now, speaking of white gold,
Yeah.
that new PlayStation 5 controller,
Yeah.
that's a nice aesthetic.
Not to everybody.
Yeah?
There's a lot of people that don't like that.
I mean, I've heard people complain about the two-tone, but I don't dislike it. I think it looks stylish. I know Mark was comparing it to like something that if there was a game within the game in like Detroit become human, it would have that controller. I was also thinking about Mass Effect myself. Like it's got that sci-fi aesthetic.
I saw a lot of people compare it to the like Star Wars Stormtrooper.
Oh
Basically.
yeah, that's not off base.
I do like the light bar not being right in the frickin' top. It's a lot more subdued.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of an accent on the size of the touchpad.
Mm-hmm.
I just generally like the shape. It looks comfortable.
Looks more like a Xbox controller a little bit. So
Yeah, but
Yeah, it'll be fine. I mean, having USB-C is nice.
Mark and I, before you came on, Sean, were talking about like, okay, why is it called DualSense? And I was thinking it's because of the 2 adaptive triggers. He was like, no, it's okay. He was like,
isn't
no,
it
it's
also
the
the
touchpad.
sense of being able to feel?
Well, I was thinking because it has rumble and it has that microphone built into it.
But the microphone, that's an input. But if you're talking about 2 senses, like dual sense would imply 2 different senses.
Yeah,
but
just
all
not
of
two
this,
diff-
it's
not two
everything
different
is touch.
Fingers, like okay.
It's like
Still
the
touch.
the haptic buttons at the touchpad are both touch, so the 2 senses are both touch.
I mean, this thing needs to come with like a smell-o-vision attachment.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, they're saying that Sony is saying that the haptic feedback from the triggers, is going to offer a variety of powerful sensations that you'll feel when you play, and then that you're going to be able to touch. It's going to feel your touch, so there's your senses,
Your dual sense,
Yeah.
okay.
dual senses. And then,
Fair enough.
of course, the...
It sounds bad, like the Vita touchpad crap bad. Or like the way they never figured out what to do with the PS4 touchpad.
I mean, there's things that use it, like you basically can turn it into 3 different buttons. Resident Evil 6 was using it as 3 different buttons. Which I always forget. Yeah.
It's not good.
Well, I just always kept forgetting of like, okay, wait, how do I get the cell phone? Oh, it's like center touchpad as opposed to like left or right touchpad.
One, and they also removed the share button. It's now called the create button. So
Yeah, that's interesting.
We'll see how that's gonna work. I wonder if they'll let you like edit things. on the
icon
fly.
the icon to me still indicates sharing because it's 3 little lines that are emanating from the button, which makes me think like you're blasting something out.
Yeah, I mean, it's still probably gonna be essentially a share button. I just wonder what they could really do to.
Well, I mean, you can probably like create clips or create screenshots. I mean, that's what they're
I mean,
talking about.
that's what you're doing now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not gonna be anything different, I don't think. I mean, hopefully the interface will be a little cleaner, but that's about it.
I mean, maybe it'll also. That's the current one. The current one lets you connect to Twitch and stream out from that as well, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, who knows what they're going to add to that?
Yeah,
They're gonna bring back Desktop TV.
I still just enjoy the Nintendo picture button. That's the easiest thing. Just press it, take a picture.
Yeah, but if you want to create clips, then it's a nightmare. Or like video clips, you can't do it.
Well,
They're
no,
only
yeah.
5 or 10
And
seconds long.
the worst thing to me is the whole why it won't let me just take the picture and put it onto my computer. I have to freaking put it on Facebook or Twitter. And that's the only way I can get it. It's dumb.
That's what they call a useful feature right there.
Nintendo, it's like, I love it. You have your own screenshots. I don't have to go to press sites and get the screenshots, but it's still annoying. So,
You know what I was just thinking? The moving of the light bar is really good because the light bar will no longer reflect in your TV screens.
yes, that's what I hated too. And then it also was just like really, if you're playing in a dark room, it just feels like you have this like really bright light.
Yeah, that's just pointed at your reflective
Yeah.
screen. That was not the greatest idea.
I mean, I guess it helps you like see in the dark, I guess, but that's about it.
I am a little concerned about that microphone if it's not. And I guess you can still plug in the headset, but if you don't have a headset plugged in, is it going to pick up your game noise like the Kinect used to?
Probably.
That used to be an issue
can't
with
you
using.
just put it on mute?
I suppose. I mean, sure,
No,
but I mean, like,
you're
if you
trying
wanted
talk-
to use
if you're
it,
trying to- if you're trying to talk to someone, that's the concern.
yeah, like especially
I mean,
if you're not wearing a headset, right? Then you need to have the chat audio come out of your main speakers mixed in with the game audio, and then the microphone could pick that up as well, and you could get an echo. You already get kind of an echo sometimes if you don't. Like I had to pick my mic volume on the PS4 mic down to like 70, the input volume down to like 70%, in order for it not to like pick up the echo of the person I was talking to.
Yeah, you know how that goes. So, I mean, with this time that I have of working from home, I don't know if you have done this at all, Jens, but I do find myself sometimes watching Twitch, and I saw that new game from Riot Games, Valorant, was making all this news, and I was like, you know what? I need something to watch on mute that I don't really have to pay attention to that much. So, and trying to read, captions while I'm also having to look at a computer screen to type things is not always easy. So, why not put on this game and see what it's about? And I felt like I'm just watching a bunch of Counter-Strike, except it's...
I mean,
yeah.
how is it? So this is all I know about this is that it's a free-to-play multiplayer shooter, like a first-person shooter.
Yes, basically. And people are calling it the Overwatch killer or whatever.
Uh-huh.
It has characters, but I don't know. I feel like it plays a lot more like a Counter-Strike than an Overwatch, but that's just me.
Right, it's more tactical.
Mm-hmm.
Is it how many players are we talking about here?
I saw... Well, this is a beta. It's not completely out yet, so there's a closed beta. I think I saw like 4.
So 4v4, 5v5?
Might be.
Okay.
I couldn't, because, you're having to watch it through a streamer, so I couldn't tell how many people were actually on screen or playing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
The controversy, though, is apparently they already had to shut down people selling beta codes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it is 2 teams of 5. Yeah, 2 teams
Okay.
of 5.
Yeah, 5v5.
Whenever a popular beta is out, that always happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't. That to me is the right thing to do. I mean, people shouldn't be profiting off a free beta code. That's not right.
I agree. But people are that crazy to play. People also should, like, I get it that we're in a situation where more people are at home now and they're trying to find things to play, that's what they're taking advantage of more than anything. But, like, that need to, like, want to play everything that's out also might want to check yourself sometimes and not just buy something you know is free.
I mean, there's probably 20,000 video games created, maybe even 50,000. No one has played them all. Like, there's always more things to play.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know how it is. You could try to tell someone, hey, there's these, like, 10 free games you can go play right now. I don't want to play that. I want to play this thing that came out yesterday. So, yeah. I mean, speaking of, Google Stadia is going free, guys, for 2 months. Everybody gonna play it now?
Well, I mean, you'd have to have the system.
Right.
No, you can play it you can still play it in a browser.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You don't even need the Stadia controller?
No.
You can use your own controller.
Wait, the service is free. Are there free games?
Well,
Yes.
They have like 2 games a month or whatever. Or like 1 or 2 games. It's just like, PS Plus or Xbox Live Gold. But you still have to buy games for it. And it's like, why would you buy Mortal Kombat 11 on Stadia instead of buying on Steam?
Yep. Well, I mean, yeah, that's the thing, right? I guess if it's free, yes, but not. That's the thing is, like, and then a lot of these games that are free. So if you got it right now, the free games are Destiny 2, the entire collection, Grid,
sure,
Guilt, which I think is one of their exclusive, like, indie games.
That's their only made game, yeah.
SteamWorld Dig 2, SteamWorld Quest Hand of Gilgamesh, Serious Sam Collection, Spitlings, which I think is also their, and Stacks on Stacks on Stacks, and Thumper, which Thumper's good, but I have that on Switch and PS4.
Serious Sam would be good for testing how good the streaming quality is, because it's such a fast-paced shooter.
Well, and it's also limited to, you cannot, even though you get Stadia Pro for 2 months for free, if you sign up for it, and then you have to make sure you tell it that you don't want to pay for it anymore after the 2 months.
Right, because before they auto-charge you.
Right.
Yeah.
They are blocking it to where it will not do 4K while the COVID-19 stuff is
just
going
a basic. Yeah, it's
Cool.
just a basic version.
Yeah, I mean, I could see myself, if I was into streaming games, I could see myself trying it out.
Right.
If it's truly... Are you all going to give it a shot?
No.
There's nothing there that I really want to... I have all those SteamWorld games on Switch. I have Thumper on Switch.
But you're not curious to see just like what the lag is like, or how it's running for you?
I don't know. Maybe not.
If
there was a game that I really wanted to play that was free, then sure, but not.
Okay. You don't care about just this, you don't want to see what the service is like. You actually need some software.
Yes.
I think that's what most people think nowadays.
Right. There's the rub of Stadia, I guess.
I don't know. Maybe I'll just test out Thumper on it. You can never go wrong with playing that game for a little bit. It's got great music. So, yeah. But hey, I don't know if that's going to help Stadia at all or whatnot, but I guess why not do it, right?
Sure. I mean, if people are going to try it, it's now.
It's true. Yeah. Now is the time.
It's kind of like I'm really curious how that Kiwi service is going to do, because if not now, when?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it has Reno 911, so it should do well.
Does it now? I thought it was mostly original I didn't realize it had like existing programming.
I thought there was some show on there that people really liked right now.
They brought Bring That One back, like all the episodes or like new skits or whatever.
Okay, but are they now like in that like 10-minute format?
Yeah.
Mm.
So who cares? I mean,
Well, no,
so,
you're a big
yeah.
Reno 911 fan. I
Yeah, I
imagine
mean, I
that
still
you'd
like
check
it, but I'll just wait till all that crap comes out on DVD for like 2 hours. Then
I don't think I don't think the Kiwi stuff is gonna. I imagine they're not going to put that out somewhere else.
I imagine they will once it fails.
Okay, fair enough.
It'll be the all new, complete version of Reno 911 and Punk with that jackass rapper or whatever hosting it.
I'm happy that I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the last thing in sort of news, and then we'll get into other things we're going to talk about. I should mention our topic for this show is best Square Enix developed games. So there's a lot to choose from there. We'll have to
Not
see
really.
all three of us go through. And, well, of course, this includes Squaresoft and Enix developed titles. So,
we didn't know that.
I did say that. I said that at the end. I said includes Squeenix.
Oh.
And you guys...
Yeah, that Squeenix would mean Square Enix, not...
Yeah,
No,
Square Enix
that means
begins.
Square
Square
Soft.
Enix begins in 2000. Okay,
No.
Square Enix begins in 2003. So
I didn't mean Square Enix.
2003
I meant Square and Enix
Oh
together
no!
as a company.
Then why say Squeenix? You should have said include Enix
Well,
and
fine.
Squaresoft.
We'll just do it that way then.
Well, it's just I would have to. I'm gonna have to completely redo my list.
Well, we'd be here another freaking 3 hours because they have just way too many games. But all right, that's fine.
Not really.
With Squeenix, it was like very limited because most of the games that I would pick are developed by, it's like, okay, that's a Platinum game or that's a Toma game or, that's none of, even like Bravely Default, like most of my favorite, what I think of as my favorite Square Enix games are not actually developed by Square Enix. And then obviously I was disqualifying anything that's just like a Square, like I didn't put Chrono Trigger on there or Secret of Mana or anything like that.
Well, yeah, because you were doing it as only Square Enix once they became Square Enix, right?
Right. See, exactly. Yeah. I know. One of us has left to
Well,
change.
I did not
Either
know
you have to
that
change
you
your
guys-
list or
I didn't know that you guys took
We're
it that
limiting
literally. Okay. Fine then. Well,
No. I mean, we'll just have to think about it for a minute.
Yeah. Thank God this is not live. Anyway, so what was announced at the Inside Xbox was they showed off Grounded, which is the Obsidian game. It's a survival adventure game that's coming to Xbox Game Preview on July 28th. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. It's basically like you're the size of an ant, and you have to survive, literally, from having all these things try to eat you and kill you, and there's this robot that guides you around, kind of gives you ideas on what to do, but it's also a survival game, so... I know, Mark, you're a sort of a survival game person.
Yeah, look okay. I mean, we'll see when it actually comes out. But I think they had the same. That was yesterday or today.
Yes.
Inside Xbox.
Yesterday.
Yeah, they had that, or that was like the same day as like the PlayStation 5 controller announcement, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that seemed to like really take this wind out of Microsoft sales. Or it's like,
well,
what?
I mean, like they didn't announce anything like groundbreaking, other than yeah. I mean, so it's not like, oh my God, you really should have watched this, but it is like, it's a neat little. It's like those early state of plays for Nintendo. What I liked is they didn't sit there and do that crap that they normally do with these, where they have the person get interviewed and it takes too long. And like this was a nice, just straight to the point. Here you go.
That's always fun.
And I appreciated that. So we learned they did have, I think, the project manager talk with Major Nelson about some of the things that have been announced for Xbox Series X, and he kind of gave more detail on them. it's interesting that that Seagate 1 terabyte NVMe is actually going to work the same way as if you had your game installed on the SSD. So that makes it viable for you to want to buy that, as opposed to if there ever is third-party versions of that memory card. So there's a reason for you to buy that thing. Also, you can store your Xbox Series X games on other external hard drives you already have. You just can't play them off of them.
Yeah, you just have to copy them over. I mean, they already said that already, I think.
Well, that's good. Like, I was worried that you couldn't use that external hard drive for that at all, and I'd have to have... They said that when they shut off the Xbox, the ports, they were like, when people were like, what's this slot? And they said, oh, the NVMe slot, and people were freaking out. But they've also said, like, you can still store games on your USB hard drive. Well,
you just can't play them.
I think the only thing they had announced... they made a big deal to announce them here, so I think either they were reiterating it for people who hadn't heard it, or it was more about...
Yeah.
You could bring over any game from your old library, have it on your external hard drive, and it works immediately. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And you can also store your Series X games on there if you want, so that you don't have to use up that SSD. So that's nice, at least. And then Minecraft Dungeons still has its release date of May 26th, which that's neat. That looks like a kiddie version of Diablo, so that might be interesting.
I mean, that's already Diablo.
Yeah. So,
if you want the adult version, go play that Path of Exile game.
Damn. So Diablo used to be adult, now it's not anymore.
Right, pretty much.
See how it is. Yen's favorite game, Journey to the Savage Planet, is getting an expansion called Hot Garbage.
I still chuckle about the fact that Mark called me out in his review for ruining his experience.
Yep.
What the hell? I laughed so hard at that. I was like, I don't know if I should. I'm just gonna keep this in. It's
I don't want to get into it, but yeah, I did not enjoy it. There are like things about the design of that game that made it not a good Metroidvania to me, where you end up traversing the entire map and then you realize that, like, oh, you don't have, you'll open, you get the thing that you need to progress past, like, the next barrier. Like, I finally have that thing that lets me access the next area, and then you use it, and then immediately behind the gate you just opened, there's, like, the next gate. You're like, shit, now I need to go back to the other side of this planet again to get the next thing. Like, I've literally progressed not at all. There's so much stuff like that.
That's most Metroidvania games.
No, most Metroidvania games, when you like get a new ability, you'll open up a new area. You won't open up, like, okay, now you get to walk 2 more feet before the next gating.
Didn't you ever play, like, Symphony of the Night? That's exactly what happens in certain areas of that game. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like, you get the jewel card, and it's like, okay, cool, and I can open the clock tower. What's in the clock tower? Oh, well, another door, but that pass had unbreakable spikes that it can't get through. Oh,
okay.
Now I got the spike armor, but you still need to power of mist to get through the door.
Well, I hate that, and the fact that it's like tied to limited items, where it's like, okay, I don't have this particular item with me right now. I need to refill it.
I mean, you can mitigate that at least somewhat by, like, the inventory upgrades and stuff. I mean,
anyway, it just pissed me off.
The only negative part to that game, really, to me, was just the combat, which is very basic.
The guns just feel like pea shooters, no matter how much you upgrade it. I've got so many issues.
There's only one gun, too.
Right. Yeah, you're right. The gun, the various forms of the gun just feel like a pea shooter, no matter how much you upgrade it. Yes. Well, we don't need to relitigate this, but yeah, I guess I was pretty insufferable with my endless complaining.
Yep.
I'm sure that was just so much fun for Mark to have to deal with while he's having to play this game for a review.
Well, I got it back. I got him back for Resident Evil 6, so.
Well, I forget, Mark. What did I buy you as payment for you playing Resident Evil 6 with me? What was it? It's been a long time now.
I don't know. I think it was some DVD though.
Okay, I got you something. It's like I'll get you this if you play Resident Evil 6 with me. I know you regretted that, considering how many hours you've ended putting into Resident Evil 6. It's like this is not worth it.
We're still going.
Well, if we do our second playthrough, then they'll really get my money's worth.
Oh my god. I don't know how you can play that one time. Now you gotta play through it again.
I have a friend of mine who he's about to stream all the Resident Evil. He got laid off, so he has time. He's like, I'm going to start streaming all the Resident Evil games. And I told him, when you get to Resident Evil 6, give me a call. I'll join you for your Resident Evil 6 streams. I'll play it again. Anyway. That really has been most of my gaming this week. I played a little bit more Persona 5 The Royal. But, sorry, Sean, you were talking about Journey to the Savage Planet coming to something?
Well, the expansion is coming April 15th called Hot Garbage, which I'm sure that's what Jens would call it. The game in general. Then Journey to the Savage Planet becomes the first 2020 game. Or 2020, I guess, major release, you could call it, that comes to Xbox Game Pass. That'll be on... actually, already came out, April 9th. Along with Football Manager 2020. And then, The Mistover, which looks sort of interesting. Stranger Things 3, the game, or head into the PC Game Pass. And the Human Fall Flat expansion, Thermal, Alvastia Chronicles, and Yakuza Kiwami. 1.
Oh, that's nice.
Also go on Game Pass.
Nice that Xbox folks will get to play Yakuza.
Yeah, I mean, they already got, I think it's 0.
Yep.
So they'll have 0 and 1 that they can play right now, which that's good. And AtomicCrops, which is from Raw Fury, looks ridiculous. It looks like somebody took, I don't know, Earthworm Jim, put them into some humans, and then decided to, I guess, put a Stardew, a farming thing on top of it.
Yeah, what the... I just Googled it, and it says it is a roguelite farming simulator?
Yeah.
What?
So you can kill things. You can get married in the game, which they show off in the trailer there. You can farm and all that. So it comes out May 28th. It looks interesting. I might think about whether I want to...
Cultivate ultra GMO crops in the post-apocalypse.
Yeah.
Exactly. What's the difference between that and real farming simulator?
I mean, I'm not a roguelike guy, but this looks rad.
Yeah, it looks cool, right?
I love the art style.
That's what drew me to it. It was like, oh, this looks neat. Looks like could be in a PopCap game.
I'm just looking at a screenshot at one of the bullet points on it is polygamy upgrade. So I guess I could have multiple wives or husbands.
Also, Gears Tactics got shown off, and it will not be on Xbox at launch. It will be a PC Games Pass because it was designed from the PC. And you play as Kate Diaz's father, Gabe Diaz.
Man,
everyone's favorite.
That's a bummer. You'd think that a tactics style game you'd be able to adapt to a controller. I mean, they did it with XCOM. They did,
They did it with Halo Wars.
Well, but Halo Wars is more of an RTS, so that's even more. But a tactics game, I'm thinking about
this guy.
What's the one that's on Game Boy Advance with the mechs?
Advance Wars.
Advance Wars. Thank you. Yeah, you'd think that would be ideal. That's kind of a surprise and a disappointment to me.
Even the Mario Rabbids thing. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So their whole deal was that that it was made for PC at launch, so they'll.
Well, I mean,
put it on
that
PC.
was XCOM 2's deal.
Fair
also. That's when it sucked. So.
Yeah, and then it got released on consoles later, right?
Yeah, and they had to fix it.
Well, and then Sea of Thieves is also getting another thing of
So,
content, which whatever.
One old question about that PS5 controller. You know how it's white and black? Do you think they'll do other colors?
Yeah, definitely.
And do you think they'll do what Microsoft and Nintendo do, is make you create your own scheme if you want?
I mean, that'd be cool if they did, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, look at all the. Did you see all the people that made different designs for them? I mean, it looked really awesome. I mean, there's people that made one for all of Sony's like big games. Like there's a Spider-Man controller. There's a like God of War controller. There's there's one that looks like Mario.
Well, we all know that got made. No doubt.
Yeah, so it's like people already were messing with it. There's people that made it look like the old, like a PS2, PS1 colors. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. That's the kind of thing that you like. The first one, they make it look like an old PS1 controller, and the guy's like, yeah, that's better. And then, of course, somebody made it look like the DualShock. But the DualShock's going to work anyway with this, so you don't have to use this controller. So, you know.
Yeah, but you won't get the special. You won't get the special triggers.
I guess. I mean, I am kind of interested to see how it feels. So, somebody made a NAC controller. That's what everybody wants.
Is it a voxel controller instead? Made of voxels and particle effects?
Maybe. I don't know. All right. Well, I think that's it for pretty much news-wise. So, it was a decent Inside Xbox for them to just kind of announce it one day and then it's there the next day. So, cool. And then we got the PS5 controller announcement. So, we'll see if anything gets announced over the weekend or for the next show that we do. So we might as well. Anyone make any? You guys make any progress with Persona 5 you want to talk about or?
I have. I completed the 4th dungeon, the Futaba Palace.
Man.
So I'm about like a third of the way through the game, maybe like half.
Yep. Tell me about the new things, Mark.
So the grappling hook is not. I mean, it's barely used. It's used in like very situational things. The fun thing is you can ambush from far away, like it's like a grappling hook, like a Spider-Man web shooter or something. So that's pretty fun. Now there are fusion. I wouldn't say accidents, but alarms. So if you're going through mementos, like if you win too many times, Igor's little area gets all screwed up. And so like if you fuse something once, it'll get really powerful. And if you fuse again, it'll like go horribly awry. And that's pretty funny because I got a persona that's immune to everything by accident. But it's super low powerful and actually doesn't have any attacks. So it's like, all right, well, this isn't that useful. It's funny, but it's not useful. I hit max rank with like the new girl so far, Kasumi. Yeah, what do you want to know?
Well, there you go. How are you?
I mean,
I'm curious how well do they integrate Kasumi to the story and like what's
not well. Like, I mean, I think I said last time, like I saw her like 3 or 4 times. Like I've seen her like I can now hang out with her in the new area, which is nice. But her initial relationship only goes up to 5 instead of 10, like everyone else. I think that gets expanded on in the 3rd semester, which I haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah, once you get past the one thing that I noticed, well, I mean it's obvious, but one thing that struck me as interesting about the prologue is that they make a point of the rest of the Phantom Thieves have no idea who she is at that point.
Yeah.
And we all know that like that's actually that occurs pretty late in the story. So I guess she only ever interacts with the protagonist for like big chunks of the game, and maybe you think.
Oh, go on.
Oh, I was asking, do you think that maybe after that casino sequence, once you loop back around to that's when the other 5 points of her of that relationship gauge open up?
Well, I've already read that it opens up in the third semester, but I mean, it's still.
I don't remember when the third semester is.
Well, that'll be after. It's not in the original game, so I mean, the third semester, I guess, is like going to be winter.
Oh, that's the deal. That's the new stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't, for the entire rest of the regular Persona game, you do not get more relationship with her.
She interacts with Akechi and you, like she kind of like they somehow have a relationship, which seems very arbitrary.
Because their Akechi stuff's really expanded.
Yeah, and then like I just did the Hawaii vacation, and she was on there as well. Like there's like a new scene where they're at like, some gift shop.
Tell me about the Hawaii vacation. How much more fan service do we get? How much did they add? Well,
I didn't hook up with the teacher, so I didn't get to see her in a bikini that well. But I hooked up with Makoto, which is funny because my relationship with her isn't that good at the moment. But you can either hook up with Makoto, Yusuke, who's completely worthless as usual, and I think just by yourself. And I was like, well, of these three, I guess Makoto's the pick. I think the third one is Mishima, and I'm like, no, that's never going to happen. Darts is better. Now, I mean, you can get a skill that like makes it go like slow motion, which is nice, or it's needed. You can read a lot better now in this game. Like they opened up speed reading very earlier on, so you can read a lot more books and stuff. Battles are better, like they're a little quicker. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. My paid Persona DLC is still destroying everything in that game, though.
Oh, that's good to hear.
And you can alter mementos now, which is kind of fun because, like, now I have like it's at 170% giving me like more money, so I'm just kind of cleaning up that area. And then I think Chiaye, was it Chiaye? The fortune teller, she can give you even more money. So I'm like, this is now useful.
Man, it's funny. I barely interacted with the fortune teller on my original Persona 5 playthrough.
I think I don't like her that much as a character, but I think as an actual like
useful.
Yeah, her skills are incredibly useful because you can power up your skill learning, or she can just give you like free relationship points with certain characters.
Oh, that sounds good.
But or the reporter is still completely useless. I talked to her enough to like get the story moving, and I'm like, I don't like you.
I just like her as a character. She's kind of my spirit animal, to some degree. Like I relate to her, but I realize that she's not that useful as a relationship.
The alcoholic.
Exactly.
See, the difference is you're good at your job and she's not. Yeah, I'm still pumped for that game. Like, probably by next time I'll finish it at least once, but I'll probably have to replay it again because just earning like all the different stats takes so long, and like certain relationships. I mean, I could do them, but they're pretty far along, or should have done them earlier. The goddamn gun owner guy, the gun shop guy. It's like, yeesh.
Yeah, you unlock that guy very late, though, right? You need a lot of guts.
Yeah, you need like rank. I hit rank 4 with every stat, at least that. So, the main stuff is already now gone. But I think like Makoto still needs like rank 5 charming, and it's like, all right. I mean, I'll get that eventually, but I'm not going to hit your rank 10. Or the same with like Yusuke because he's worthless, or Hifumi. It's like I might hit like rank 5 with you. That's about it. But the new, I think you'll like the new therapy, or like therapist in the school. He is appropriately charming. But yeah, that's my game. while everyone else is playing stupid stuff like Final Fantasy, playing a real RPG.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't have anything else to discuss because well, no, I did beat the Enies Lobby arc and One Piece Pirate Warriors, so I'm like slowly making that way through that. So I'm into the third arc that's in that game, and hey, it's a Musu game. I leveled up my characters and got to get more awesome finishers for Luffy and everybody else. So I'm happy with that. And I forgot that I had a DLC pack that's included in the PR code, so I like went to go look because there's an anime song pack that you can buy for like $15.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is not included, but what else is included? And there was like,
does it actually have the various theme songs from the show?
It doesn't have all of them, so there are some of them that are like really good that are missing. But it has like We Are and the one that's on right now for the Wano arc, and then some other ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I should mention. I mean, it's not up yet, but I finished my disaster report review. They patched that game when it came out, because I think it just came out like 2 days ago, like the officially. They added in epilogue DLC that you have to buy.
Oh God.
It's outrageous.
So it's like epilogue 1 is free, but epilogue 2 is like $7 or $8.
This is like
what?
This is like when Asura's Wrath.
Yeah, I saw that exactly.
Here's the true ending, which I forgave. I love Asura's Wrath so much that I forgave it. It's crazy shenanigans with that, but I cannot see myself.
It's a real game. I mean, say what you want. Like it's all QuickTime events, but at least you're doing something.
It's like 50% QuickTime events. It's not all QuickTime events, but yeah, it has. From what you're telling me, it has way more gameplay than Disaster Report. Man, that's a huge bummer. I was kind of looking forward to Disaster Report, but there's no point buying it physically. Like I was thinking about getting it on disc, and if it doesn't, I canceled it as soon as you told me that like the ending is not on the disc. So why would I buy an incomplete game on disc? So maybe when it's
to its small credit, there is a bunch of like free DLC costumes, like police officer or Power Ranger or
Power Ranger
like that. Well, ZU Ranger or just whatever Sentai Ranger.
Does it have a? Is it like a like close enough kind of non-copyright infringing version?
Yep, it's just like the one from Persona 5.
Okay,
but the problem with that stuff is it all goes just in your basic inventory, and I'm like, what? How do you do that? Like, what happens if your inventory was full? Or I mean, what So
you're going to clog your inventory with like dumbass stuff that you don't really need for the game.
Like I got the Super Sentai one because it was free and it came with 9 different pieces, or no, not 9, just 6. Sorry, but it came with like 3 outfits that were blue, white, and red, and then 3 helmets which were blue, white, and red. And I'm like, what? Like,
wow.
Surprised there's not like some more Compass DLC or something like that. That's the one thing they drive home in that game is all these getting all these stupid compasses. So, do you want your compass to look like a ballerina? No, I don't care.
Maybe he did.
You want your compass to look like a frog? No.
So the compass upgrades do not give you anything.
No, that's the thing. It's just cosmetic. And if anything, they obscure the compass more than the regular one.
Is there any... All right, what's the most... But firstly, did you finish it for your review, or like how far did you get?
No. I got about 5 hours in. I think it's like a 7 or 8 hour long game.
Okay. What's the most gameplay-ish thing?
There was a very terrible sequence where me and a woman are tied up in a subway by these 2 like rapers.
Oh God! Wow.
And they're they're like they're drinking and they're like, we're gonna rape her and then kill you or something like that. But then like one guy just like falls asleep, and there's another guy patrolling like,
Well, that's
the,
kinda...
like the area, and you have to like crawl around and avoid his flashlight.
I forget. Are you playing a female character or a male character?
Male.
No.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Also, I mean, it's I'd do a video of the same thing with the female character.
If you were a female character, that would sound like a slight to me.
Yeah.
But man, problematic. But what actually happens as far as the gameplay system?
You crawl around, you avoid his flashlight, and you're trying to crawl into a like a convenience store that has like a tape dispenser, so you can cut your ropes.
Little stealth sequence.
Yeah, that's terrible because you move incredibly slowly.
Oh.
And that's it.
You've now talked. I mean, I thought I wanted to play this because I generally like this sort of thing.
I think it's in my review, I basically say it's a very great idea, but they just didn't know how to do it correctly. Like, the Last of Us team, they could have done this justice, but like these guys, like this is barely a game. It's all linear too. It's all the illusion of choice, because you have to do these like missions or like these sequences to get to the next area. It's not like you can just say I don't want to do this and go on. It's like
no, but I mean, I'm assuming that you're in dialogue trees choosing one thing, like do you comfort this lady or not, or
yeah, but it doesn't matter. That's the ultimate thing. Like it literally, like you can be a total asshole to a person and they'll follow you around, or it can be nice and it just does. You get like these moral and immoral points, basically good and evil points, but there's not even like a way to like look at how like your alignment status is in the game. Like, Mass Effect has a Paragon and Renegade screen. Like, hey, you're becoming evil. This doesn't even have that. So it doesn't factor at all into the actual game. So I think it's like a game for like visual novel people. You want to like blindly stumble around an area for a while.
I mean, I like visual novels, but most visual novels do not make you, traverse a lot.
Yeah, you just traverse with words.
Exactly. You just click you go through a menu and choose the next area that you're going to go to.
Yeah, this is this. You walk around, and whenever the ground starts to shake, you duck and cover, or you just fall to your knees, and then that's about it. That's like the only gameplay there is.
Did anything ever happen from you, like not going to the bathroom or not eating?
I'm like my character is thirsty right now, but your health doesn't go down. Like that would make sense. Like, let's say you were really hungry, like your health should be going down, or you can't run as fast or anything. But no, you just get like dirty. Or, like I think like a fly buzzes around you a little. That's about it.
Like in Deadly Premonition.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's just terrible. Like it aggravated me.
Man. Well, I'm excited to proofread that review.
Yeah.
Sean?
25 so cool.
Oh, of course.
Well, we should go ahead and get to our special topic of the top 5 Square-Enix developed games. So it has to be when they were Square-Enix.
Wait, doesn't...
No,
I mean,
you guys already did it that way, so it's much easier
I put together a new list while we were just chatting.
Oh, geez, I'm not going to redo this again. So,
well, you've got your list for Square-Enix or Square-Enix, right?
No.
Oh, you do.
I just made the one for Square-Enix because we couldn't decide which one. So, no, we're just going to do it on Square since 2003, basically.
I was like, sweet. Now Mark can put the Bouncer and Air Guides on his list and Mario RPG.
So,
that was a good
really?
one.
I
was like thinking like, oh sweet, I can have Xenogears and Valkyrie Profile and Parasite Eve 2. No, okay, let's stick with the. We had it strict originally, where we were really limiting ourselves.
Yeah. All right, so it has. I mean, so it's not. This is not including Square Enix published. This is Square Enix developed.
Yeah, developed.
Yeah, no Drakengard, no Nier, no Bravely Default.
Quest.
Yeah.
Well, some Dragon's Quest.
Well, yeah, not the 8 and 9 and.
Right, I got 11 on my list. Though.
Yeah, 11. Yes. But
So that's a Square Enix game.
yes.
We're sticklers here.
Yep. So is Dragon Quest Builders too. So that's good too.
Yeah, I knew we were. It's funny. Mark and I were speculating what your picks were going to be early on, and it was like he's going to put Dragon Quest Builders for sure.
No,
and
I
Mark was
just
like,
mentioned
Dragon
I'm
Quest
actually
Builders 2 because
not.
it's the better one.
I'm actually not, because there's way too many games, and I had to take some off. So.
Really? I mean, I could barely come up with a list of 5. I only have 4 games.
Really?
Yeah,
You could
I
barely
was
come up
also
with a list
struggling.
of 5? Like,
Yeah.
Square Enix is a very limited list.
yeah, but it's since 2003. You know how many games have come out since then? Like, this also
Not that
includes,
many.
like, Kingdom Hearts 2 and Final Fantasy 12. And
That's on my list.
You know, like, Final
Again,
Fantasy
a lot of my
13
stuff is
as
like-
well. I mean,
A lot of my stuff's like, nope, that's Vanillaware. Nope, that's Tosei.
yeah,
Nope, that's
sure.
that's Seta or that's Tri-Ace. You know,
Or level 5. Or,
or level 5 exactly. Yeah, like that. Yeah, Dragon Quest 8, I guess that's a level 5
yeah,
one, as
Dragon
you
Quest
said.
8, yeah. Alright, so, Mark, you said you were having a hard time finding 5, so what are your 5 that...
I mean 4.
Or 4? Wow. Only 4.
I mean, it's pretty much games I listed off last week. Well, I mean,
Great,
no, I guess there are
excellent
like
podcast content.
6. I mean, I could think of 6 because if you do include certain old games, I would say like number 5 would be like the first Dissidia on PSP.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like that'd be number 6. Like number 6 would be like Dissidia for PSP. That like the first one. But number 5 would probably be Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep,
Wow.
mine as well. I've got Kingdom Hearts 3 at number 5. And it's just because I have not played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2.
Oh, wow.
So Kingdom Hearts 3 is my first one, my only one. So,
Yeah.
and I liked it a lot. So, you know,
Oh, Kingdom
Same
Hearts
place.
3 is great. It's that they made the Disney worlds feel even more of a just open void than the other 2 games, but yeah.
my thing about the Disney worlds, and I don't know if this is the same for other Kingdom Hearts games, but I'm greatly amused and entertained by the fact that a lot of them, they're just straight up recreating the move, like the iconic scenes from the
Oh yeah,
movies.
they do
with
that. They do that entirely in the other 2 Kingdom Hearts games.
Okay.
It's just-
No,
With their
the
fan-
second one, there was a lot more branched. Like, it's not
You
completely...
literally go into Tron World and fight the MCP.
Yeah, but that,
Yeah,
like,
sure.
you're not following the same story constantly. Like, there's
Yeah.
little branch off points that they made for that game, you know?
I mean, the big offenders in Kingdom Hearts 3 are Tangled and Frozen, where it's just straight up.
Yes.
It's the scene from the movie, but our fanfiction characters are standing in the background, and sometimes Goofy goes "Gorsh" or Sora goes "Oh no."
Or, wow.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like, really?
That happens in the first game quite a bit with like The Nightmare Before Christmas,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
or what was that other one? Tarzan.
Yeah, Tarzan was
Sheesh.
a lot of watching that. But like, see, like Alice in Wonderland had parts that had nothing to do with the ones that involve like the princesses. That's the ones that they kind of branched off a bit because it had more to do with the actual like main part of the story. But the ones that were kind of, I don't know what to do here, so let's just let it be the movie.
So-
That we can't fuck it up.
What's your number 5?
I actually might, cause I'm trying to decide if I want to include Kingdom Hearts 2 or not. Like I keep, cause you know what, I really loved Birth by Sleep a lot because of the
Really?
way that it does the story. But of those 3, and I love the worlds of Birth by Sleep, and the combat system of Birth by Sleep a
That's
lot.
very interesting.
So,
That's one you don't hear that much
Yeah.
about.
well, that's because it was on PSP.
Yeah, it gets lumped in with 372 days over 4 or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I had to play it on an emulator.
Oh,
and then
okay.
I actually ended up beating it on the 2.5 remix.
You didn't play it on Vita?
No, I didn't have it. I never had a Vita.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. The memory card thing just made me go, nope.
Oh,
Not
okay.
even bothering with this.
Good call.
Unfortunate.
No, because by the time I would have bought one, the memory cards were hard to find, or they were way too expensive, and it's like, yeah, I'm not paying that price to have to constantly buy new memory cards. So, you know.
All right, well, you think about your list. Let's see. So my list, I've got Kingdom Hearts 3 at number 5. Actually, I've got a runner-up at number 6, kind of, that I wanted to put on the list, but I just didn't quite make it, and that's The World Ends With You. I really like The World Ends With You, but it just didn't quite cut it. But yeah, I put at number 4, I've got Dragon Quest 11. And it's also my first Dragon Quest, but my understanding is that it's, one of the best ones, and I can hardly imagine a better JRPG.
I love the
in that
cast
style.
of characters in that game. They're all
they're so lovable. There's so much like great kind of charming humor in that game. I love the art style. I love the music. Combat system is really great. Very classic combat system. So yeah, Dragon Quest 11 at my number 4. Then obviously holdovers from kind of last week when we talked about favorite Final Fantasy games. They make this list as well, kind of by default almost. Final Fantasy 12 at number 3, and Final Fantasy 13 at number 2. I know, it's crazy to put 13 over 12. I just have more of a nostalgic affection for 13, and I think I put it ahead last week as well. But that's just my own craziness. So, don't judge me too harshly. And then number 1, I was debating with, it's funny, when I was trying to put together a new list based on like including Square games, I was trying to debate, like, does this still make it? Because it's in fierce competition with its spiritual successor, Final Fantasy Tactics, which is one of my favorite games ever. But I actually think that I like this even better, so it makes my number 1 for Square Enix games, and that is Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together.
Wow.
Which I did play on my Vita, and it's just, it's everything you want from a spiritual successor to Final Fantasy Tactics. Like, it's a refinement, it's a better story, the music, the characters, the art style, like, it's everything that you want from that kind of game.
Yeah, I mean, the GBA Tactics games were made by somebody else, so... or I would have probably included one of those, but... Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with... Actually, they're not.
Yeah, but I did not... like, War of the Lions, I disqualified that because it's technically a remake of the original Final Fantasy Tactics.
I meant the 2 GBA ones. Like, I thought the first one was really good.
I did not play those.
Ah. Yeah, the first one's pretty... I mean, like, the GBA, it's funny, like, to think about, like, had so many great, like, strategy games.
There are some... Yeah. Yeah, I never played Advance Wars. I just know a lot of them by reputation,
Right.
There are, speaking of that sort of thing, man, looking at, like, the list of Square Enix games, there's some where I really wish that I'd played them so I could put them on the list, but I just, I can't. Like, I've never played a Saga game.
Yeah.
And I hear great things about Scarlet Grace and what's the most recent one? Romancing Saga 3, I hear is really fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So I just haven't played them, but from what I hear about them, they might make the list if I knew them, but got to be honest here.
Well, Mark?
Like I said, my number 5 was Kingdom Hearts 3. My number 4 would be Final Fantasy Type O. I like the characters. I thought it was good that each character played pretty differently from one another. I didn't like the strategy game at all, though, in that thing. And the fact that they kind of force into it's really annoying. But I like the high school setting, too. It reminded me of Bully.
Mm-hmm.
My number 3 was Final Fantasy 12 also. That was a very good... I only played the remake, or the port, I should say, but that was a very good port where they fixed a lot of the issues of the original game.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2 was Final Fantasy 15. And my number 1 was Crisis Core.
Tell me about Crisis Core. I know very little about it.
It's the best thing Final Fantasy VII has done.
It's a prequel,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Crisis Core is pretty great.
Yeah, you're playing as Zack Fair. I think it's like 2 years before Final Fantasy VII takes place, or like maybe 3. But yeah, you're mercenary with Soldier, and you go out to a bunch of different areas and end conflicts or whatever. I think Zack was a very good character. Like he's not like a dopey asshole like most of these guys are in Final Fantasy games.
It's real time, right? Like it's an action.
Yeah, but there's like this roulette wheel that's always spinning, and that affects your the battle conditions. You can get infinite magic, or that's how you level up too. And then, if you win the roulette wheel, certain characters might show up, and it's basically like a summon, or but it happens kind of randomly. But you can affect it to a degree. It just looks very, very visually impressive. I think even now, if they did if they just a straight port of that game, I think it'd still be pretty good. And yeah, I think the story is just really great. It really humanizes that world that Final Fantasy VII didn't do, at least initially.
Man.
And you learn a lot about Zack too, which is what's cool about it.
He has this good relationship with his boss, who actually wields the Buster Sword before Zack does or Cloud does.
Yeah.
And Sephiroth is in it, but he's not melodramatic, which is nice. He is a real character.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I just realized Tactics Ogre is actually a re-release / remake of that game was originally 95.
Yeah, it's a SNES game.
It's okay.
Oh no! That means it's originally made by Quest, so I've got to disqualify it.
Oh,
we're not going to behead you for having that game in your list. Jeez.
Nope. Sorry. Okay, sorry. The new list is now Final Fantasy 13 at number 1, Final Fantasy 12 at number 2, Dragon Quest 11 at number 3, Kingdom Hearts 3 at number 4, and The World Ends With You at number 5.
What?
I'm glad I have The World Ends With You as a backup. Otherwise, I'd be really racking my brain now.
Yeah.
I broke my own rules. I didn't even realize it.
That's because they were your rules, not everyone else's.
Well, not my rules. They're the rules that once we set Square-Enix games, those were the rules.
Yeah, that's true. At least he was trying to go by the rules,
I mean, by that rule, you could have Hitman Go on that list because technically Square Enix Montreal.
Right. Yeah, I mean that actually would qualify. There was one that was Square Enix London that I was thinking about, but I've already forgotten what game it was. But yeah,
I think Crisis Core. It would be nice if they remade that game or just put it out.
Man,
I'm an idiot.
Don't punish yourself so much, Jens. My number 5 is Final Fantasy IV Heroes of Light, which is basically the predecessor game to Bravely Default series. It's actually a little bit underappreciated. I felt like people don't give it enough credit, I think, because it goes a little bit back too far to the original, Final Fantasy roots of the crystals and all that kind of stuff. But of course, it has the same sort of, instead of default, it uses boost and you can, decide to boost your character or let him attack on the first turn and then do all that stuff. And then it has a job system called the Crown system instead of having the job system that Bravely Default has. And I like the characters too. I think you don't get. I think it's because it came out on the DS, and so maybe you didn't play it much there, but yeah, I enjoyed that game. I mentioned Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, and of course now it's in that Final Mix 2.5 that everybody can play. I have that as my number 4. Dragon Quest 11. is
Which version? The PS4 one or the Switch one?
The Switch one.
Okay,
Obviously, it's the better version. It has the better music, and it has you can play it in they can look like SNES characters.
And 25 hours longer, so.
Yep, that too. And you can play it portably, so you don't have to sit in front of your screen,
If you're into that sort of thing.
And for me, I'm only picking one of the 13 games. So 13.2 for me, because I like 13.2 more than 13. I like that you could explore in that game. Yes, Lightning is better than Sarah as a character, but I like the oh god, what's his name? Noel or Noel? Or,
I think it's Noel.
Yeah, Noel. Go ahead.
You mean it didn't have a 60-hour intro like the first Final Fantasy 13?
No, and I like that you can move around and time travel and stuff. That was cool. I like that. That was one of my favorite parts. And they somehow improved the battle system from 1, made it even faster. So yeah, I have 13.2, and then Final Fantasy 12 is number 1. It's a freaking awesome game.
None of us picked Final Fantasy Pocket Edition.
Well, you put Final Fantasy 15, so
yeah,
don't need the Pocket Edition. I still think about it sometimes, but it's on sale if I want to buy that or not.
Yeah, 12's pretty cool. Like I bought that on. You got that for me on PS4, and then I bought the Switch version later on.
Yeah.
I hope that that weapon trick works in that Switch version.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I have. I think I have all those games on PC. I have all the games on PS4, and I have all the games on Switch.
Man, Sean, your love of Final Fantasy 13-2 is making me really want to give Final Fantasy 13-2 another chance.
You should try
That's the one I played. I played that a little. I played that. I didn't even play Final Fantasy 13.
Well, I played it a little too, but I didn't finish
that game,
it like
so
that.
I had to beat it.
Yeah, I just, I loved 13, didn't finish 13.2, and kind of after playing the Lightning Returns demo was like, nope. But I really should go back to them. Because I do love, Lightning. Underrated character. So, I don't know.
I don't like characters with dumb names.
Oh, so you don't like Cloud either, huh?
Not really. You can at least change that one, though.
Well... Not a new one, I'm imagining. I imagine that you can't...
No, that's why it's locked in, yeah.
Also, why would you... Did you... when you name your Persona 5 protagonist, now that there's a canonical name from the anime, now that we know that his name is Ren Amayama, I was like, I'm going to use the canon name, because otherwise it's just going to be weird.
Well, wasn't he originally supposed to be called Akira, and then they changed it in the anime?
Yes, he was Akira in the manga.
Yeah.
I named him Charlie Tunoko.
Oh no, Charlie Tunoko that's Persona 4, and that's only the giant bomb version of Persona.
Well, there you go. Well,
that Persona 5 anime needs to come out in America. Damn it!
It felt so rushed. I mean, I realized that it has to because it's a big game with a lot of story to cover, but I liked the Persona 4 anime, and it did not feel nearly as rushed.
Isn't it the same number of episodes?
It is.
Yeah. Well, but isn't Persona 5 much longer?
Yeah, it sure is.
I mean, not really. I mean, I think it's the same number of dungeons at least.
Well, yeah,
but
Yeah,
but there's like more
characters, more plot.
Yeah. More like thematic stuff in there too, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they did add that extra part, or the 2 extra parts to the anime.
I mean, Persona 4 also had another anime after that as well, that golden one.
Yeah, but
I like that. I like them both. Yeah.
That's more we want to bring the golden stuff in and also improve some. The first Persona 4 anime had some questionable animation and some really hilarious mistakes, like. The shot. We all know the famous shot where there's like 2 Chies, in the same shot.
Oh,
There
that's
was a Chie in the background and the Chie in the foreground. I mean, not that you can ever have enough Chie, but it was
That's
goofy.
true. You can never have enough Chie.
But yeah, I guess I would buy the Persona 5 anime if it came out here, just because I'm a completionist, but I'm not like clamoring for it.
I mean, I am, but also like I want it to be subbed and dubbed personally. But
Yeah.
Did they dub the Persona 4?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
I just watched it subbed. So.
yeah, they did. I mean, they had the Gamecast back, or the Gamecast did it. So, or most of them, except for the one.
Have either of you seen the 4 movies for Persona 3?
Yes,
No,
I don't
they're
remember
expensive.
much of them. I had them all on my computer, so I got to rewatch them at some point, maybe.
They're really interesting in how they
Yeah.
don't follow the game story in the later ones. They kind of go a different direction in certain ways, and it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I actually really like them.
I wonder why they decided to do that. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I did like the. It made me want to. Both watching those animes and the movies made me want to play the games, and I was like, well, they just never bring them to PS4, so I was like, well, maybe they'll remaster them
Persona-
or something.
Hang on, is Persona 3 not on?
It's
Is
on
FES not on
PS3.
PS4?
No, because that was something I was hoping that they would bring with those PS2 remasters on PS4, and they just stopped doing it. So
Look at this here. Download from the PlayStation. You can buy it on the PlayStation Store.
But only for PS3.
yeah, only PS3.
Yep, you're right. Playable on PS3. Okay, I'm wrong. I mean, I played it on PS3, so
I
It'd
mean,
be
so
great
it's
if
been a while.
they included the portable version in there for free as well. But...
Yep.
So you can play as the female protag.
That's what the Vita's for.
That is FES though. FES is the one.
No, isn't the Persona 3 portable like
That's
she's
one.
exclusive
That's one
to
of the
that?
girl. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
That's just had like the extra events, and I think like more I story. That's about it. And then portable is the one you could play as a male or female.
Whoa! Persona
What?
3 Portable is really, really valuable.
Yeah.
I have a sealed copy of that. I did not realize it was worth almost $200.
Yeah, not surprised. There was a used store selling just the game case for like $40.
What?
Amazon.
Wow.
Man, Amazon tells me that I purchased Persona 3 Portable PSP on April 24th, 2012, and paid $35.
It's like I have a pretty much new copy. It's open, but I never touched it. Of The Last Story on Wii.
Oh yeah, I have that too.
Wow.
I have the Last Story Collector's Edition. I have that.
Wait, well, it has a soundtrack and like this little art book or whatever.
It has a soundtrack sampler. It's one
Yeah,
of those
whatever.
things again.
I knew that. I knew that was gonna happen. But it has this art book also, and that's worth some cash as well. Surprisingly.
I bought the proper soundtrack of that because it's a great soundtrack.
I wonder
Which,
if
by
that
the
will
way-
ever get to be put on Switch.
That's one of the few things that I would still need to hook my. Well, we talked about this last time, right? Where it's like there's a couple of games that are still trapped in the original Wii.
Yeah.
Pandora's Tower, Last Story.
Well, you never know.
Squeak
If
balls.
Xenoblade does well. But that would have to be Mistwalker, and Sakaguchi would have to...
What?
Okay.
I mean, I feel that way about like Lost Odyssey for Xbox 360. And it's like, too bad Sakaguchi's mired in mobile hell. So
Is Lost Odyssey not backwards compatible?
It is.
I think it is, but
Yeah. And you
I
can buy it
don't want-
digitally, I think, or maybe you
Oh, yeah.
can't. But
you can. But I want to play that game on a PC.
yeah, well, whatever. Just play it on your damn Xbox.
What Xbox?
The Series X you're gonna get this year.
No.
But they'll upscale it. It'll be great.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It'll look even more awesome with your 4 discs that you got to put in.
Mark, since we mentioned soundtrack samplers, can I relitigate this thing that you were talking about 2 podcasts ago, where you were calling me silly or crazy or whatever for being annoyed that the Okay, in my defense, all I was saying is that I just said I regretted buying the collector's edition because the thing I wanted the collector's edition for is the soundtrack, and I could have just bought the steel case by itself and the soundtrack on eBay, like the proper one from Japan, and it would have cost me as much as I paid for the box, for the big box.
But you don't get the cool mask.
I don't give a shit I don't give a shit about those things. The only reason I buy.
I don't care about the soundtrack sampler, so there you go.
Well, I don't care about the sampler either because I'm getting I'm spending like $70 on the real one.
I also know that soundtrack's been on YouTube for months now. Like if I cared enough to listen to it, I just download it from there.
Oh yeah, right. Because
I don't need to have the actual CD in FLAC. I don't need to convert to FLAC. Also,
right. You don't care about quality, so you can just do a YouTube rip.
Yeah.
I care about quality. I like it to actually sound good. Like if I just wanted to listen to shit on YouTube, I could listen to pretty much anything on YouTube.
When I come down and see you, I'm going to bring down a vinyl soundtrack of BioShock 2. We can listen to that.
I've got. Thankfully, you can get the flax for BioShock from Gary Scheiman's Bandcamp.
Guys,
wanting a special edition just for the soundtrack is the crazy part.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Actually, there's a lot of people that would want the special edition for a soundtrack. Yeah,
that's the main. That's the biggest value. That's the main thing.
Especially knowing it's from Japan, you should have known this ahead of time, like that Catherine soundtrack.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't okay. Oh, that's the other thing is you did like a big thing about like why don't I care about not having the Catherine the full Catherine soundtrack, and I have a good answer for this, which is
Catherine sucks.
No, I love Catherine, but I don't give a shit about the Catherine soundtrack because the Catherine soundtrack is all like adaptations of famous classical pieces, and I don't care. Like it's not original. It's not an original soundtrack. It's just like arrangements of like Gustav Holst and Richard Wagner. And if I want to listen to Gustav Holst, I've got a dozen different recordings of the planets that I can listen to right now. I don't need it on the Catherine album. If I want to listen to Jupiter, the Bringer of Joy, I've got the Andre Previn recording. There's so many recordings of that stuff. Like, why do you need, unless you just really want, I need a funky beat under it and some synths.
That wouldn't surprise me if you said that.
If I was like, I really need these particular arrangements that are not as good. I'm sorry, they're not as, they're fine. I have absolutely no complaints with their soundtrack in the game. I like it in the game. I like that they used all that classical music because I'm a fan of that stuff to begin with. But I don't need.
Didn't you buy that Persona soundtrack collection in the first place? That was like $200 or whatever.
Which one?
The big one that came out like 2 years ago or whatever.
It was like $50 if you're talking about Persona 5. It was that's a 4 CD set, and then there is. Let me see what all do I have from Persona here. So this is like end of show content, so people can just turn this off if they don't care. So let's see. I got that last. I got all the Super Live P Sound Street stuff.
It might have been the games that came in like some big stupid box set.
I have the Persona 20th Anniversary Game Symphony Japan Atlas Special Concert. That's a Blu-ray, and I ripped that to FLAC.
Yeah, but what?
Nevermore Reincarnation. That's an important. Well, I mean, it's a Blu-ray. I mean, it's 2 hours of music, 39 songs.
No. There's a Persona 5 20th Anniversary Deluxe Edition.
Oh, yeah.
$225. Do you have that?
No, I don't because I don't.
then shut the hell up.
No, okay, dude, that's just a repackage of all the individual things I already have.
Yeah, that'll happen with Royal as well.
No, but I have all those individual. I basically have that set in the form of the individual albums, so I don't need it. It's pointless. It's just you're just rebuying the same thing again that you already have. Like I've got Persona 3, I've got Burn My Dread Reincarnation, I've got all those albums. So I don't need the stupid like we've boxed it all together. Who cares?
Yeah, you do.
You're out of your mind. Anyway, the point is, Catherine soundtrack's pointless. I mean, like it's cool to have the sampler that they came with because it's like every now and then you might be in the mood to like feel nostalgic for Catherine. But I really don't need 4 CDs of it.
Believe me, that'll never happen.
It's just really, really, really like well-known classical music. Like it's like the most obvious classical music that you could possibly pick. It's like, oh, it's right at the Valkyries. Great.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan's theme song.
Yeah, he comes up to the Catherine arrangement.
Okay, well, now that they've had an argument about whether or not you buy collector's editions for a soundtrack or not, or do you buy it for the big figurine that you get for a lot of these?
The figurine that comes with collector's edition is always terrible. Like the only one I can think of that was halfway decent is the Horizon. I remember Mark and I were in one of those used game stores that Mark dragged me to. You know, Mark loves those stores. We hit pretty much every used game store we could find when I was visiting him, and like one of them had the Horizon Zero Dawn, the statue, and it was actually nice, and I was genuinely pleasantly surprised. But most of them are shit.
The Blizzard ones, they had a World of Warcraft one last year, which was really nice, I thought.
Okay.
But
the Cloud one looks good.
Yeah.
For this one.
I mean, it all depends.
I just genuinely like the casts are often good, but then like the paint job will let it down.
It's all like super quick or like looks kind of shitty.
Man, do you remember like Witcher 3? If you were to go in and repaint that Geralt, it would actually be nice. But the paint job is so shitty that it completely ruins the figure.
You should look at the Two Worlds 2 figurine sometime.
That's I remember that. But you were like, you didn't complain about the fact that, Darksiders didn't get a special edition in Japan. It's just like, what are you talking about?
I said Doom and Saints Row.
Saints Row, okay, right. Let's get my you get your dubstep gun.
Like we said last week, the country or the area that it comes from are going to have the better special editions. That's a huge surprise.
It's also, who gives a shit about having a dubstep gun? I don't understand.
People bought the Saints Row 4 special edition. Or, I mean, wouldn't you want that cool Saints Row 3 dildo bat?
Oh my god.
Exactly. Of course you would.
Western collector's editions are almost always super tacky bullshit.
Yeah.
And Saints Row did not have... I was a big fan of the Saints Row 3 score, and that did not come with. I think I ended up buying that on iTunes, the Malcolm Kirby Jr. soundtrack.
Because American game companies know most people don't care about soundtracks. It's the only ones that do are like Blizzard.
Because most of the time, like, people know that the RPG lovers do care about those soundtracks. Or Japanese.
Yeah, but it's not like if you buy the Call of Duty special edition, you're going to get the soundtrack. You're going to get some stupid remote control car and night vision goggles.
Well, that's the thing, though, is like, other than Modern Warfare that, Activision made a big deal about, or Infinity Ward made a big deal about the sound effects and everything in that game for this year. Most of the time when you think about an American game outside of like something like, BioShock or whatever, most people don't... Those game creators are not thinking about the soundtrack, whereas the Japanese, especially like look at Nier, people were talking nuts about that soundtrack.
Rightfully so.
I mean,
when you buy WWE 2K21, it should come with some like 10 CD soundtrack of all the wrestler themes and
Call of
wrestler
Duty
entrances.
Call of Duty
remember when
soundtracks.
Madden used to make a big deal about it? Now it's like nothing.
Yeah, EA
You know?
EA tracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, do you guys remember when Call of Duty still used to have Michael Giacchino as the composer? That's when those soundtracks actually mattered.
I didn't even
No.
know he was the composer. But
I know the name because I think we talked about him once or twice, but no.
Dude, he's won. I mean, he's an Oscar winner now, so
I mean,
he's
or it's
too
the same,
big
like-
for that stuff.
It's like Assassin's Creed. Like I like the Assassin's Creed soundtracks. I like some of them, but I'm like, even buying the special editions, you don't get them.
It's true. No, you've got to buy. You go and
well,
that's the good thing. It's like a lot of that stuff's on Bandcamp, so you can grab it that way.
Also, mostly a lot of the times, the Japanese games, those soundtracks, they do make them so you can want to listen to them outside of the game. Like they have music that you'd want to listen to. Whereas I think the American soundtracks, it's more like a movie. It's kind of built to just go with the game, and that's it.
Well, for the American stuff, you get. I like actually having people like Oliver Derriere or Austin Wintory, where I just have their Bandcamp subscription. So I just pay them like $30 a year, and whenever they put out anything, I just get it.
Can't wait to listen to the techno remix of One Winged Angel from this Final Fantasy VII Remake game.
Oh, there's some stuff. Have you listened to the sampler that I sent you?
No, not yet.
There's some great stuff, and then like the last couple of tracks are like weird techno remixes.
It's all stuff in theater rhythm, probably.
No, it's Final Fantasy VII stuff, but it's like, yeah, okay, not all of this is going to be like the big orchestra stuff. Like some of it's going to be like
It'd be
weird
awesome if
pop
they still
or
did
techno
updates
music.
for theater rhythm, and they'd put the remake stuff in there, but probably not.
No.
It'd be nice if they could port that to Switch or something. But
You guys realize we could have been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake for the last hour and a half.
yep,
You
and
guys-
I
you
could have
guys
been. Yes,
I'd be playing a real game.
Alright.
This is like the third time, Mark. Just by sheer repetition of that joke, it's not going to make it true.
Yeah.
Like you keep saying it, but not going to agree with you.
What? Come on. Okay, so
You know it's true in your heart. That's all that matters.
well, okay. Maybe for some people it is, but anyway.
And when you guys have your Final Fantasy VII spoiler cast on Sunday night, I'll be sitting here playing Persona 5.
I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna do it on Sunday night because I want you to play it too. So
We gotta give it like 2 weeks or so, at least.
The big question, the big assumption is I'm actually going to get it on Monday. Also,
You'll get it.
we might have our initial thoughts without you, but not have like a full spoiler cast.
now with how Amazon and the post office has been doing lately.
Yeah, right. You got your Persona 5 a day late.
Well,
Okay,
Final Fantasy is 4 days late for 5.
Fair enough.
Well, technically, I think Friday's a holiday.
Oh,
So,
is it? No.
It's Good
Wait.
Friday.
Good
Friday.
Friday.
But yeah, but who cares?
Wait. This Friday?
Yes,
Yeah,
Easter's
Easter.
on Sunday.
Okay. I don't have this Friday off. I'm working tomorrow.
Well,
Is it
kids
just a
don't
holiday
have
for
school.
USPS?
Yeah, it's not a federal holiday. I'm just looking at that now.
Yeah, kids don't have school, and some places do close. Yeah. But all right.
More like
Well,
mediocre
thank you
Friday,
everybody
am I right?
for definitely this year. So anyway,
The usual Friday.
if you enjoyed what you heard, including Jens and Mark's argument about special editions, you can always go hit subscribe on any podcast service that's out there. We're on pretty much every single one. And if we're not on your favorite one, you can always email me, w2network@gmail.com, or hit us up at Twitter, at WTMSean, at HumanityPlague, at Arbiter Silence, Randy's at Randy Isbell, and at W2Network for the whole thing. And yeah, go follow us, go like us on Facebook, the W2 Network Facebook page. and you'll see all of our posts from the site there as well. So Randy's Resident Evil 3 review is in. I gotta edit it, and then also Mark's Disaster Report 4, and then
that'll be a little longer. But yeah.
And I gotta start writing my review for the Panzer Green remake as well. And I'll be the one reviewing Final Fantasy VII Remake, so I gotta take notes while I play. So, alright, everybody. Enjoy that Final Fantasy VII Remake. And we'll be back on... I can't figure if we're doing it Monday or Sunday or Monday night yet. But alright, we'll see you later, everybody.
Later.